what it is. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about Project Toilet Bowl. So, what it takes to put something that's been sitting 20-some years back on the road. Well, pretty much everything. I mean, if you're going to buy something this old, plan on going through the entire brake system, plan on going through the fuel system. I see a lot of guys buy stuff like this and they just kind of half-ass it. You know, they do a few things to the brakes, and you know, they try to clean the gas tank out. Man, save yourself the aggravation. I know sometimes some of the stuff's expensive, but I can't tell you how many guys I help constantly with this old stuff, and it's just because they tried to half-ass it. You know, I put a new fuel pump in, and then I crack the line open and the gas is brown because the tank is junk. This truck's going to get a new tank, new sending unit. We'll inspect the line all the way up because the line actually looks really good. We will replace it does have 3 rubber connections. We'll replace those. New fuel pump, brand new carburetor, and I'll make a new line from the pump to the carburetor because somebody's cut it and it's got a long piece of rubber hose. Get rid of all that. Get rid of all that because that's what starts a fire. Whatever's in today's rubber does not last like it used to. So we've done all of our front brakes. We put rotors, pads, calipers, hoses, and we made new brake lines. Next, we got to make the brake line from the front to the rear. Right now, as it stands, we didn't pay much for the truck. We give $250 for the truck, and some of the stuff I've had from an abandoned project that I got halfway through and sold. We're not doing anything fancy. We're not doing no fancy brakes. We're not doing no crazy upgraded brakes or anything, because this is just a stock 302 with a C4, and we're leaving it that way. We might do some dual exhaust or something like that, but we ain't doing anything else to the truck. And these projects, they're funded by me solely. So, this thing I've been moving around with a tow truck, so that's what kind of started me to do the brakes, because the rear ones were locked up. They were actually just locked up because the brake shoes were rusted to the drums. We got them apart, was able to machine the drums and put shoes, hardware, and wheel cylinders on it, and now we're going to make up some brake lines and stuff for that. Also, you guys that are following Bronco Cheapskate, I have not forgotten about the Bronco. We're still moving forward to Bronco. Unfortunately, we tore it apart outside of bay number 2, and the weather's been kind of crappy, so we haven't got back on it. The weather's going to be good this weekend, so we are going to do some more stuff to the Bronco. Probably Sunday we'll do some work on it, and we'll do some video and some content on it. Again, that is another cheap project. We bought the truck cheap. I think the most money we got in it is the lift kit, and I think it was like $400. So we're trying to keep that cheap because we're going to build that as a wheeler and a driver. And we are going to do some content where we take this thing out in the woods. Hopefully, whenever the world opens back up, and we can get out to a couple off-road parks that are local to us. And hopefully get some wheeling and driving on this thing. So back to this thing. Some stuff that, guys they just want to skimp on. You can't skimp on brakes. Don't skimp on them. This stuff's cheap if you're just going back to stock. I mean, these calipers were $19 from Napa. Why fool with the old ones? I know the bleeders are going to open. I know the piston isn't going to seize up on me and cause a problem once I start driving it. Another thing I want to point out, the guys kind of forget on this older stuff, is the vent on the rear. Now, I just rebuilt a rear for a guy a couple weeks ago. It was out of an 84, 85 pickup. So it was an 8.8 rear. This is a 9-inch. And both axle seals were leaking. And when I got it apart, somebody had not very long before him had put axle seals and an pinion seal in this thing. Well, when I got the vent out of it, it was plugged solid with rust. Guys just forget about these things. I mean, even in this thing, this hose is, I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but this hose it's plugged halfway up with something. So I'll replace this hose. I took the vent out, cleaned it out real good. And that should prevent anything axle seal, pinion seals to leak. Usually that's, not all the time, but that's usually a good reason why they fail. So we'll get on the, I guess the next video we'll shoot is about fuel system, what we're going to do to the fuel system, and go from there. So look, I'm going to get back at it, and I'll holler at your boy later. Hit that like, smash that like, kick it to the curb, something. Holla at you.